In a small room in Seoul, a young man named Ramod lived. He was 28 years old, a student far from home with a dream that felt both big and distant. He wanted to become a trader. He looked at the charts on his computer screen. The lines moved up and down like the city's busy heartbeat. Ramod saw more than just numbers. He saw a path to a different life, a life where he could be his own guide. This dream was a quiet whisper in his heart, a secret he kept just for himself. It was a hope that burned brightly in the early morning hours, long before the sun touched the Han River. His journey was not simple. Life had shown him many closed doors. He lost part-time jobs one after another. Employers would look at his resume and shake their heads. "We need someone with more experience," they would say. Each rejection felt like a small stone added to a heavy bag he carried on his shoulders. The world outside seemed to be moving so fast, full of people who knew their place. Ramod felt like he was standing still, watching everyone else pass him by. His dream of trading felt further away with each polite no. This path made him feel very alone. In a city of millions, it is easy to feel invisible. Ramod did not have close friends he could talk to about his dream. He could not share his fears or his small moments of hope. When he looked at his trading charts, the wins and losses were his alone. The silence in his room was often very loud. It was filled with his unspoken worries and the questions that had no answers. He longed for someone to understand, to simply listen without judgment, but that person was hard to find in his busy world. The dream of trading was his private world, a place he could escape to. He would read books about famous traders and watch videos about the market. He imagined a future where he could understand the complex language of finance. This dream was not about getting rich quickly, it was about finding freedom. It was about proving to himself that he could build something on his own. In the quiet moments when the city slept, his dream was the only thing that kept him company, a single candle flame in a dark room, flickering with possibility. The weight of his struggles began to press down on Ramod's heart. The constant rejections and the lack of a stable job in Korea created a deep sadness inside him. It felt like a gray cloud that followed him everywhere, especially in a foreign land. Some days it was hard to get out of bed. The motivation that once burned so brightly now felt like a weak ember. He would look in the mirror and see someone who was failing, far from home and alone. The world seemed to be telling him that he was not good enough, and a part of him started to believe it. This sadness was a heavy blanket, making every step in this unfamiliar country feel difficult. Stress became his constant companion. His shoulders were always tense and his mind was always racing with worried thoughts. What if I never succeed? What if this dream is just a foolish idea? These questions would spin in his head, especially late at night. The pressure to find a job, to make his family back in Nepal proud, and to build a future was enormous. He felt trapped in a cycle of trying and failing. This stress was not just in his mind, he could feel it in his body, a tightness in his chest and a weariness in his bones that sleep could not fix. His loneliness deepened with each passing day in Korea. He saw groups of friends laughing in cafes and colleagues walking together after work. He yearned for that connection, for the simple comfort of sharing a meal and a conversation. But his shyness and his feelings of failure made it hard to reach out. He felt like he was on an island, watching the rest of the world from afar. This isolation made his struggles feel even bigger. Without anyone to share his burden with, the weight felt entirely his own, a solitary journey through a difficult landscape. The sadness and stress began to affect his attempts at trading. He would make decisions based on fear, not logic. A small loss would feel like a catastrophe, confirming his deepest insecurities. He would sell too early, or buy too late, driven by the anxious voice in his head. His trading journal was filled not just with numbers, but with his emotional turmoil. Each red line on the chart seemed to reflect the red ink in his heart. He realized that to succeed as a trader, he first had to learn how to manage the storms within himself. Ramod knew he could not continue this way. He had to find a way to quiet the noise in his mind, especially as he struggled to adapt to life in Korea. He decided to start with his body. Every morning, Ramod would put on his running shoes and head to the park, finding comfort in the familiar rhythm. At first it was very difficult. His legs felt heavy and his breath was short, but he kept going. With each step he felt the stress begin to melt away. The rhythm of his feet on the pavement became a kind of meditation. The morning air felt fresh and clean, clearing his mind and helping him feel a little more at home. This simple act of running became a powerful anchor in his day. He then discovered the quiet power of meditation. He found a quiet corner in his room, sat down, and simply focused on his breath. He learned to watch his thoughts come and go, like clouds passing in the sky. He realized he did not have to hold on to every worry, even as he missed home and faced new challenges. Meditation taught him to be present in the moment. It helped him create a small space between his feelings and his reactions. This practice did not make his problems disappear, but it gave him the clarity to face them with a calmer heart. It was a gift of peace he gave himself for 15 minutes each day. For motivation, Ramod turned to the words of wise leaders and thinkers. He listened to podcasts and read books by people who had overcome their own great challenges, both in trading and in life abroad. Their stories reminded him that failure is a part of the journey, not the end of it. One quote he loved was, "The oak fought the wind and was broken, the willow bent when it must and survived." He wrote these inspiring words on small notes and stuck them around his desk. They were like friendly voices encouraging him to be patient and resilient, to be more like the willow. Slowly, these small habits began to change him from the inside. He started to see his trading mistakes not as failures but as lessons. Each loss was a teacher, showing him what he needed to learn. He started a new journal, one where he wrote down not just his trades, but also his feelings, and what he learned each day as a Nepalese student in Korea. He learned to forgive himself for his mistakes. This process of self-compassion was the most important skill he developed. Ramod was learning to be his own friend, his own cheerleader, as he pursued trading and adapted to his new life in Korea, one small, hopeful action at a time. Ramod's trading journey in Korea is still unfolding. He has not yet reached the heights he once imagined, but his idea of success has evolved. It is no longer just about earning a fortune. Success is now about the person he is becoming in this new land. It is about waking up each morning in Korea and choosing hope over doubt. It is about having the courage to face the markets after a tough day, far from home. Ramod has learned that true wealth is not measured in currency, but in a peaceful mind and a resilient heart. His progress is slow but steady, like a small stream making its way to the ocean, crossing borders, overcoming obstacles. He has found ways to overcome the loneliness and uncertainty that once shadowed him. His daily runs and meditation are no longer just coping mechanisms. They are his foundation in a foreign land. They are his anchors in the stormy seas of the market and the challenges of life abroad. When feelings of isolation arise, he reminds himself that he is connected to loved ones and to his dreams. He draws strength from the wisdom of mentors and the quiet determination he is building within. Ramod has learned to find comfort in his own company, turning solitude into a space for growth and inspiration. He continues to learn and grow every day, embracing each lesson Korea offers. He understands that becoming a great trader and a stronger person is a marathon, not a sprint. He studies his mistakes carefully, seeking to understand the mind behind every decision. He is patient with himself, knowing that mastery takes time and countless hours of effort. He celebrates his small victories, a well-executed trade, a day of emotional balance, a moment of clarity. These small wins build his confidence and inspire him to keep moving forward step by step. Looking ahead, Ramod is filled with a quiet, steady hope for his future in Korea. He does not know what tomorrow will bring, but he is no longer afraid of the unknown. He has discovered strength within himself he never knew he had. His dream is still alive, shining even brighter in this new chapter. It is a dream tested by setbacks and strengthened by perseverance. The pages of Ramod's future in Korea are still unwritten, but he holds the pen with hope and determination, ready to write a story of courage, learning, and inspiration no matter what the charts may say.